On snow-covered mountain peaks, where the cold can freeze everything in its path, wild boars endure thanks to their thick fur and protective fat. Braving the bitter chill, they charge down into farmlands, destroying crops during the harsh winter. They overturn everything in their path, ravaging fields and even attacking local farmers. Unable to stand by, brave hunters step into the icy wilderness to protect this land. Can they triumph over both the harsh weather and these formidable animals? The moments that follow will reveal all. We move toward the western hillside, where the snow has just begun to melt. This should be where the wild boars show up, John says. The hunting dogs are released, targeting the lone boars, the ones responsible for the heaviest damage to the area. It doesn't take long. The dogs successfully drive the first target right toward me. Here it comes! With a precise shot, the attack is over. This beast must weigh over 200 kilograms. A serious threat eliminated. Victory achieved, we continue upward to areas where the snow still clings, seizing the moment to prevent the herd from advancing as the weather warms. Far across the snowy slopes, we can see isolated boars and small groups gathering. We deploy our strategy, focusing first on the lone animals. At a distance of over 300 meters, John takes the shot. A loud crack, and the target drops immediately. Remaining targets, from near to far, are locked down by our team's expert marksmen. Discipline, experience, and seamless teamwork prevent a devastating storm from sweeping through the fields. Although it looks effortless, don't be fooled by John's long-range shots. Such precision comes from strict discipline and years of training. On the hunt, binoculars become a critical weapon, capturing every movement across the snow. Dark shapes slowly emerge against the white backdrop. Locking onto a distant target isn't just about hitting the bullseye, it's about calculating movement, distance, and trajectory to ensure a perfect shot. Each fallen shadow is not only a victory, but a promise that crops are protected and peace is maintained. Meanwhile, on the western slope, Nick's sharp instincts spot a herd basking in a patch of exposed snow. A shot rings out, and he pursues the fleeing boars. But despite his effort, he can't match their incredible speed. He quickly pulls out his iPhone 16, signaling the team for backup. Minutes later, the full team arrives, encircling the area. No boar escapes. If this part thrills you, hit like and share. It fuels us to bring even more epic encounters. The hunt continues. Fresh tracks in the snow lead Nick and me straight to a massive wild boar. In that moment, our weapons are not just tools, they are sharp warnings, putting an end to the chaos these beasts bring to our land. As darkness falls, we decide to sweep the area one last time before heading home. Any remaining prey is swiftly neutralized. The region is safe again, and the livelihood and security of the local people are preserved from a fierce winter onslaught. This mission is always carried out in full compliance with US hunting laws. The trophies piled high in the Toyota Land Cruiser are not just sweat and effort. They are proof of a sacred duty, protecting the crops and people of this land. Hunting wild boar in the dead of Siberian winter is no ordinary pursuit. It's a real battle, where every step on the snow could be your last. The brutal wilderness pushes human limits, while the beasts, starving and driven to desperation by the cold, grow fiercer than ever. Word came in from locals. A pack of wild boars had been tearing through the winter grain stores, leaving destruction in their wake. We didn't hesitate. Despite the blizzard, we geared up and headed out, not just to hunt, but to defend the survival of the entire village. Join us as we follow fearless footsteps through the snow, face off in heart-pounding standoffs, and witness moments so intense they'll stop your breath, where the line between hunter and hunted is as thin as a thread. In the biting cold of an early winter morning, we knew this was the golden hour to strike. Hunger was forcing the wild boars out of hiding, making them bold and careless in their search for food. Our strategy was simple but sharp. James and the hounds would drive the boars uphill, flushing them out from below. David and I held our positions as blockers along the ridge, the last line before the open snow trail. Just as planned, the first boar broke through into view, right in our sights. David held his breath. 3 quick shots rang out. The beast collapsed the moment it reached the snow-covered trail. A perfect opening. 1 clean takedown, the kind of start every hunter hopes for on a day like this. The snowfall grew heavier by the minute, blurring our vision and testing the grit of the entire team. James wasn't just pushing from below, he was a mobile spearhead, ready to react to anything the wilderness threw at us. When Boar tried to slip through a thicket ahead, everything went quiet for a moment. Boom! A single shot echoed through the snowy woods. The beast dropped instantly. In these brutal conditions, only instinct and the seasoned eye of a veteran hunter could deliver a shot that clean, that perfect. If you think that was one hell of a shot, go ahead and drop us a like. After days of blizzards, climbing back up the ridge had become too dangerous and exhausting. So, as soon as the weather cleared, we set out again, this time shifting our strategy to an ambush near the open forest edge. A spot where wild boars often roam in search of food. Just 30 minutes after James released the hounds into the woods, our patience paid off. The moment the boar burst from cover, David's shots rang out, sharp, clean, and deadly accurate. The chase was over in seconds. Frequent blizzards forced us to pause the hunt, but when the sun returned, melting the ice and drying the terrain, we knew it was time to move out again. James unleashed his pack of hunting dogs into the familiar forest. Trained by elite warriors, they executed their mission flawlessly. Tracking the GPS, James watched as the massive wild boar was cornered by his skilled hounds, while another managed to slip away deeper into the woods. The trapped beast now faced an inevitable verdict. Boom! The final shot rang out, a clean end to the destruction plaguing the local villagers. The loyalty between the pack and their hunter is an unbreakable bond, one that no danger can sever. An urgent alert from James came through. The boar was fleeing straight toward me. I instantly took my position, ready to block its path. A wild boar appeared. The moment its head came into view, boom! The bullet hit its mark. Boom! This time, the beast collapsed completely at the foot of the hill. Down at the foot of the hill, our teammate Thomas was carefully watching a large wounded wild boar. A wounded animal is always the most dangerous. Its primal survival instincts can turn it into a deadly attacker in an instant. Thomas didn't rush. He kept a safe distance from his higher vantage point. Only when he was certain all risks were controlled did he calmly raise his rifle and squeeze the trigger. Boom! Freeing the boar from its suffering also eased the worries of the villagers. In every battle, calculated caution and careful steps are the keys to defeating any enemy. As evening fell and the hunt seemed to be winding down, a rustle ahead gave away the foolish wild boar. My body instantly went into ready position, steady on the trigger. The moment it appeared and hesitated, that was all I needed to bring down the unlucky creature. Boom! A perfect ending just before darkness settled in. People often ask if we're afraid. Of course we are. We fear the cold, we fear the dangers, but the fear of losing the village's peace is far greater. I pulled out my iPhone 16 Pro and sent the good news instantly. I could almost see the farmers' relieved smiles through the message screen. This mission isn't over yet. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of our journey. Despite treacherous terrain or harsh conditions, ferocious wild boars with their staggering reproduction rates are becoming a major threat. They sweep through, destroying crops, tearing up the land, and endangering human and livestock lives. Today, the hunters are ready to set out, determined to stop this monstrous horde. Fierce battles and heart-pounding encounters lie ahead. Do they have the courage to quell this wild beast uprising? Follow along right now. Amid the sub-zero chill of the Romanian mountains, a fierce battle was unfolding. At this moment, Finn's hunting team had surrounded and secured key positions where they predicted wild boars would appear. Not long after, Leon kicked off the first ambush. Through his binoculars, he spotted a wild boar weaving through dense trees. As it stepped into an open clearing, a shot was fired instantly. The boar collapsed immediately, unable to resist. A decisive shot marked the start of today's battle. Continuing to follow the tracks left in the snow, Leon and his team pressed forward. From a distance, a familiar silhouette quickly appeared, lurking among the dry bushes. Choosing a strategic position and angle, he pulled the trigger. A series of shots rang out, cutting off the beast's escape route. Thus ended a formidable threat in the frigid mountain wilderness. In another corner, Finn quietly tracked through the snow-covered hills. Suddenly, from behind the bushes, a dark hulking figure emerged. Without hesitation, gunshots rang out in rapid succession. The beast finally lay still, unable to take another step. Hunting in the snow is a relentless battle between the hunter and harsh nature, but each shot fired is a declaration to maintain peace for this land. Leaving the icy, snow-covered mountains behind, we head to a forest in Turkey, where Kevin's hunting team arrived early. Upon reaching the area, they swiftly took their pre-assigned positions. 15 minutes passed when a sharpshooter, quietly observing, suddenly spotted a wild boar darting past like an arrow. Acting on instinct, he immediately pulled the trigger. A single precise shot stopped any chance of the boar's escape. Another threat was eliminated, cleanly and decisively. At the same moment, deep within the forest, a tense confrontation unfolded between Kevin and a massive wild boar. The familiar barks of the hunting dogs echoed, and Kevin and his team immediately sprang into action. Right before their eyes, the monstrous beast appeared. The instant they met, it charged furiously straight at Kevin. Without a hint of panic, he pulled the trigger. The shot halted the attack in the critical moment. Truly heart-stopping. A mere second later, and Kevin might not have been the one in control. In another corner, a sharpshooter in a concealed position quickly spotted a wild boar attempting to flee. Without hesitation, a gunshot rang out, and like a scene from a perfect film, the boar collapsed behind a tree. Before he could even lower his rifle, another boar charged forward. With a single pull shot, it too fell motionless on the icy ground. The reign of terror these creatures had inflicted on the forest was brought to an end. It had been ages since I last visited my grandma's place, but the moment I set foot there, my smile faded. Her entire field was devastated. Wild boar tracks everywhere, scars in the earth. My brothers and I couldn't just sit still. A decision was made. We had to enter the forest and track down these marauders. This trip would be more perilous than peaceful. What will be the outcome? Join us and find out. We quickly held one last strategy meeting, assigned positions to each hunter. Gear was strapped on, boots laced tight, the sharp click of magazines locking into rifles echoed decisively. The hunting dogs settled in the bed of the pickup truck, and we rolled toward enemy territory. At dawn, still heavy with sleep, we took our positions. I chose a terraced hillside, a natural fortress with a panoramic view, where they often return after a night's feeding. The cold air was still and tense. Then it appeared, a dark shape moving confidently, breaking away from the far forest edge. I held my breath. The cold barrel warmed in my hands. At just the right distance, the shot rang out. Bang! The prey dropped. A clean opening shot, promising a day full of hunts. But the thrill was short-lived. The first gunfire stirred the rest of the herd. From my spot, I caught sight of a bigger, darker figure moving on the opposite hillside. It exposed itself. A deadly mistake. I fired. The bullets tore through the air. The beast was hit, but fueled by wild survival instinct, it bolted. Plan B was activated immediately. We unleashed the hunting dogs. Sharp and fast, their barking echoed through the forest, driving the wounded target right into our trap. Down the hill, where the prey was being herded, was a sparse forest, not too dense to hide, but enough cover for us. The dogs barked through the night. The target was close. My heart pounded, not from fear, but focus. No escape. As the frantic shadow dashed across my sight line, I squeezed the trigger swiftly, stopping its lightning-fast run. While I held the front, my brothers cleared both forest edges. More targets down. This was a task demanding a cool mind and a brave heart to protect the hard-earned harvest of a whole village. The sun climbed high, hot, and relentless. Now the challenge was patience, not visibility. A subtle shake of the bushes caught my eye. I signaled the team, found a concealed position to intercept its exit. Raising my rifle, holding my breath, I waited. The moment it peeked out to move, I fired. One shot, instant takedown. Shortly after, a teammate radioed. Another was being pushed my way. Without hesitation, I repositioned, ready to intercept. Heart pounding, rifle steady. As the boar charged from the bushes into the clearing, my burst rang out, decisive, pinning it down before it could flee. Did that quick reaction make your heart race? Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Still gripping the warm rifle, I fired another volley, taking down a few more charging beasts. Late afternoon, wary but alert, we began heading back. On a high hillside, a final target appeared. Calmly, I controlled my breathing, calculated wind and trajectory. One perfect shot flew, hitting the mark flawlessly. The beast faltered and fell, closing a hard-fought day. Precision shooting at long range, one-shot kills, are a hunter's pride, the fruit of experience and relentless training. Land Rover Defender for the ride home. Not triumphant hunters, but fulfilled guardians who completed their mission. The fire of determination in our hearts rekindled hope over the ravaged fields. Tonight, the village will sleep peacefully, and tomorrow, my mother's hands will nurture new life once more. Wild boars not only threaten our crops, but also pose a life-or-death challenge to us, the professional hunters. With their explosive reproductive rate, they devastate millions of acres each year, pushing nature to the brink of chaos. In this urgent situation, we're not just hunting wild boars, but protecting the ecological balance. If we don't act now, what will become of our environment? Stay tuned until the end to witness the fate of these savage beasts. At 5 a.m., we enter the territory taken over by the wild boars. Each member quickly splits up, calculating every step carefully. The hunting dogs, once released, immediately catch the scent and signal the presence of the prey. Upon receiving the signal, I rush forward. Oh, it's here! Too fast, it notices and tries to escape. But just as it makes its move, boom! A perfect shot halts its escape entirely. We can't afford to underestimate the cunning of these wild boars. 1 second of carelessness can lead to unimaginable consequences. We continue our search, tracking new targets. After a short distance, figures lurking in the fields are visible and cannot escape our sight. I adjust my focus, aim carefully, and squeeze the trigger. The shot rings out as expected, sending the boars into a panic. But it's too late. After a series of precise shots, all that's left are their bodies lying on the ground. Moments later, more dark shapes appear, unaware of the battle that just took place. Once again, our sharp shooting skills are put to the test. With each precise shot, honed through countless fierce battles, we don't give them a chance to escape. From another angle, an alarm sounds. It seems the boars are trying to flee after the recent commotion. John immediately gets the order, quickly moving to block their escape route. The boar, unaware of John's approach, becomes an easy target. With swift and decisive action, John lines up the shot. Perfect! The bullet strikes true. Other boars nearby don't escape the perfect control John exerts. The area is quickly secured. As the battle grows fiercer, new targets appear. With years of experience and a deep understanding of wild boar behavior, we are fully prepared. The timing and positions have been carefully calculated, awaiting the right moment to strike. Before long, this area is cleared, leaving no trace of the marauding beasts. Not a second to spare, we move toward the edge of the field where the wild boars are likely hiding. Sure enough, they emerge. I line up my shot, the bullet instantly speeding towards its target. Nice! The feeling of victory floods in. It's almost unbelievable how perfectly the shot landed. Despite knowing how slippery these creatures can be, even the most decisive moves can't always stop their speed and agility. A few of them manage to dart into the dense forest nearby, narrowly escaping the chase. The hunt continues, and we deploy all available resources and advanced gear to launch a new strategy. Every position is meticulously calculated based on the boar's known hiding habits. Soon, the targets begin to appear. The rifles are ready, no room for error. A shot rings out, and the boar drops instantly. Simultaneously, from all sides, gunfire erupts, marking our absolute dominance. A flawless battle, everything under control, every step calculated perfectly. Did you know a full-grown wild boar can run faster than you and is 3 times stronger? Sounds unbelievable, but I've faced him more than once. Across the rolling green hills of Turkey, they charge like bullets, relentless, stubborn, fearless. Sometimes even your trigger finger can't keep up. Hunting wild boars isn't a game. It's a battle against one of the smartest, most aggressive, and deadliest beasts in the wilderness. Think it's easy? Walk with me. The hunt starts now. Knowing the boar's habits from the villagers, we left at dawn, heading west toward the hillside. After a careful terrain survey, John swiftly arranged the team, strategically placing shooters in open spots, determined to cut off any escape before the sun rises high. Minutes passed before shadows appeared. Bang! The gunfire shattered the silence. Nice! A victorious start for the team. But the hunting dogs quickly picked up the scent. My teammates and I shifted course and moved in just in time. More hidden figures were trapped and taken down cleanly and decisively. With the sunlight growing stronger, we climbed higher, eyes scanning every inch of the valley below. No creature could escape our sharp gaze. I took careful aim and squeezed the trigger. A precise shot felled the beast. Once again, the invasion of this fertile land was ended. The gunshot seemed to alarm the boars. They began retreating deeper into the forest. Down below, the pack of hunting dogs caught their scent. Thanks to their training and sharp instincts, each dog closed in on the prey, leaving no room for escape. This allowed me to move in faster. There it is! The rifle felt steady in my hands as I squeezed the trigger. The shot echoed, leaving only the giant form lying motionless amid the dogs. No time to rest. The tracker beeped on alert. Wild boar spotted nearby. We moved quickly, footsteps heavy but cautious. Strange sounds and familiar scents made me freeze instantly. Ready, weapon aimed. The golden moment struck. The bullet flew. The beast fell before it could break free. Our teammates secured the perimeter fast. No shadow slipped through the net. The advantage was ours, ensuring absolute safety for this land. We scoured the adjacent hillside with careful steps and keen eyes, missing no movement. The formation held steady, tight and effective. No matter how well the boars hid, escaping the well-planned trap was nearly impossible. This wasn't luck anymore, it was the cold precision of true hunters. As the late afternoon light faded, we regrouped at the rendezvous point. But fate wasn't done yet. The hunting dogs barked again, signaling that the last trail was still open. Without hesitation, the team turned back to finish the job. Moments later, the trophies were secured. The battle closed, neat, tense, and ruthless. Still think hunting wild boars is easy? Share your thoughts below.